If you want 100x your money, just buy the Trump coin. So seriously, Trump coin is a meme coin. And so a lot of people have been asking me lately on social media. They'll stop me in the streets. They'll stop me at church. And they're like, yo, what's this meme coin thing? Well, first of all, let me tell you a little bit about crypto specifically, and then we'll come back to the meme coin. So when you think about the invention of crypto, essentially it was just a decentralized finance. So think about it this way. If you have a dollar, right? A dollar can lose value and gain value over time. We all know that, right? You can look at other currencies in different countries and you can compare it against the US dollar. You can see how it's pegged, all of that kind of stuff, right? But people started thinking, wow, with inflation and the way our debt is growing in the United States, at some point we're going to have a secondary currency that we use. The invention of Bitcoin. So if you look back like 2008, 2009, really 2013 is when it really started to get popularized. We started buying Bitcoin in 2015. But with cryptocurrency, it was supposed to be a hedge to the market, meaning that when crypto's doing well, the stock market is not doing well. So it's this inverse relationship that we saw when it first came out. Now, over, not to shout out, Jamie Dimon, but he's the CEO of Chase. He's one of the people that in 2015, 2016, 2017, you can go back and do your own research and find it. He was saying, don't buy this crypto coin stuff. It's a Ponzi scheme. You don't want to do that. All along, they were actually buying crypto at that time. So the money that you had in your account, your savings and your checking account, they were actually using that money to purchase Bitcoin, all the while telling you not to do it, right? And the reason why we know this is because in 2020, when COVID hit, right, we started to see a lot of retail investors sell off their crypto, but then we started to see Bitcoin specifically start to move like the stock market was moving. And we were like, aha, this is kind of odd. So my team and I did some research, and that's how we found out that even back in 2017, they were using millions of dollars to buy into some of the cryptocurrencies that we know now as stable coins, right? So that all happened. And then along the way, you had individuals who were essentially crooks, right? So they do what they call pump and dump schemes. Now we're talking about meme coins. So there were companies that came out and they essentially said, hey, let's just put out a meme coin, a cryptocurrency. Let's say that it can do this. We'll let the money run up in the crypto. We'll take all of our investment out of it. And essentially the coin will collapse and crash on those that are left holding the bag. So that's where the whole idea behind a meme coin. Now, there's a few out there that have had really good runs. I'm personally invested in Dogecoin. So we made a ton of money off Dogecoin back in 2022. We bought it when it had 5 zeros in front of it, all the way up to around a nickel. We saw Elon Musk jump in on it. He started pumping Doge. It went up to, I want to say around 75 to 78 cents. We sold before then, but then you saw it crash back down. So now it's trading at about, 22 cents a coin. Now, there is some use case for Dogecoin. Now, you have other coins like Shiba Inu. Again, I'm invested in that. I'm not suggesting you should invest in any of these, by the way. Purely speculative, okay? And so we invested in Shiba Inu. It's got 4 zeros in front of it now. It may have some use case in the future. But if I was going to advise someone to invest in cryptocurrency, I would say stick with these 3 or 4. Again, I'm not your financial advisor. Do your own research. But Bitcoin, the granddaddy of them all. Today, Bitcoin is actually trading at $111,000 per coin. Now, that's astronomical numbers. Remember, about a decade ago, you could buy this for about $200, right? So again, it's the cryptocurrency gold, if you will. So if you're going to make an investment into cryptocurrency, I would say either stick with Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now you're hearing these prices and you're like, Cal, I don't have 111,000, right? So what you can actually do is you can invest into crypto and you can buy what they call Satoshis. So I'll put that down here so you can see it, Satoshis. So Satoshis are fractional shares of Bitcoin. So you have an entire Bitcoin and it can be chopped up. Just like when you think about stocks, especially if you trade on like Robinhood or Webull, you can buy fractional shares of a stock, right? And so the same thing can occur with Bitcoin. So you buy Satoshis. So let's say you only have $5. Well, buy $5 of Bitcoin, and that Satoshi that you hold will go up as Bitcoin, goes up as well. So that's one way you can invest in crypto. Again, you can always dollar cost average into crypto. So create a budget, figure out how much you have per month, and put a portion of that into your crypto portfolio. So you want to build up that portfolio as well. So really, that's the whole idea behind meme coin. Now, I started this video talking about Trump's coin, right? And so we understand that Donald Trump created his own cryptocurrency, and he's asked people to invest in it. Now, the first 2 days that this was actually an ICO, this is an initial coin offering, meaning that it was open to the public. I want to say it pumped somewhere from like $8 to like 47, 67, something like that. I remember a client of mine reaching out and saying, hey, should I buy this Trump coin? And I was like, no, please stay away from it. What I didn't know is he had already invested in it, and he was calling me afterwards. So he lost a ton of money on it. But again, it was a pump and dump. So over the first 2 days, it was probably about 3 or 4 days now that I think about it. Over the first 3 or 4 days, I mean, everybody that got into it after the first 3 or 4 days, they lost their bag. Because again, those people that pumped it up, as soon as it got to a certain number, they started taking profits. And so everyone else was left holding the bag. So if you paid $67 for it, I want to say it's somewhere around like 34 cents right now. So don't buy meme coins, okay? That's not something you want to invest in. So listen, like the video, share it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to do our best to get everyone this information across the world. So we'll see you on the next one. Think and Grow Rich.